Hey, we are back here live on PALS TV. Our next segment's going to be coming to you because of our Art Outside the Lines program. We've been very fortunate at AOTL to make amazing connections in the community and just have some phenomenal people be a part of our program and be able to contribute and truly make our lives better. So we can't thank all those community partners enough for what they do, and today is no different. We've been fortunate enough to have a magician come on today, and Dan Harlan is going to do some performances for us. I've seen a lot of TV specials recently on different networks where they have their own magicians come in, and this is going to be our version. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think everyone loves magic, and it's a perfect break to our day. So thank you so much, Dan, for coming on here and giving us some humor and making us smile during this crazy time. We really appreciate it. First off, though, we'll be heading over to AOTL with Bianca and Audrey. Or actually,
okay. Hey guys. Thanks for joining us. Dan, once again, Mr. Harlan, thank you for what you're about to do. We're all really excited. If you guys hit speaker view, you'll be able to see Dan really big. And let's enjoy the show.
Awesome. Well, I'll start off by just thanking Bianca and everybody involved with AOTL for inviting me to perform for you. And I welcome you to my home studio rehearsal space. And I just want to let you know that I am the host and the resident magician at the P3 Magic Theater here in Columbus, Ohio, where every Tuesday night for the past 6 years, we have featured the best magic performers from all over the world, and I get to host each and every one of those shows. So when we get a chance to meet face to face, and maybe you'll check us out, p3magictheater.com, you can see all the stuff we've done for the past 6 years, and then eventually see what's coming up. And I'd like to start off right now with well, this is a beautiful piece of magic. It's known as the vanishing candle. And so we'll start with what I hope is not the last highlight of the day. Oh yeah, now he's good. I can hear the muted applause all the way through the airwaves. But you know, I didn't say that it was the flame to handkerchief trick. What I said is that it's the vanishing candle trick. And so watch the candle very closely. It'll vanish in just a moment, but where it goes, nobody knows. Oh! Oh! It's a little weird, I have to admit, you know, but that's the thing. That's what magic is. And now that I have started off with something that I'm sorry you had to witness that, but that gets my brain into the right space to show you some weird magic stuff. You know, and whenever I do a magic show, people always ask me how I do the amazing things that I do. And I can't tell them. And it's not just because I'm sworn to secrecy. Now, the reason I can't tell people how any of this stuff works is because I never bothered to learn the secrets. No, it's true. I always found that the secrets were disappointing or difficult. And so I never bothered with them. For example, I'll show you one of the first tricks that I ever learned as a magician. I read this in a book a long time ago. And it said that you needed 3 pieces of rope. You needed a small piece of rope like this one, and a long piece of rope like that one, and a medium piece of rope like this one, and that you would make them exactly the same length. 3 equal pieces of rope, with this one being the same length as that one, and that one being the same length as those. So they would meet here and there. And then it said that if you took those 3 equal pieces of rope and ran them through your hand, they would change to a short, a medium, and a long piece of rope, just like these 3. Well, I know that's kind of weird, but I thought it would be kind of cool if I was able to do that. And so I ran out to a store and I bought myself some rope. I bought a short piece of rope and a long piece of rope and a medium piece of rope. And I was going to learn how to make them exactly the same length, 3 equal pieces of rope with all 3 being exactly the same. And then just by running them through my hand, they change back to a short, a medium, and a long rope, 3 different pieces. But you know, then I read The Secret, and The Secret wasn't so simple. It said that you would take the long rope and you would fold it in half like this and make a loop right there at the top. And then you would sneak the short rope through that loop. And I remember when I was young, this was my favorite part. I used to practice that all the time in front of the mirror. And then you would fold that short rope in half like this, and then put the medium rope next to it, and it would look like the 3 ropes were the same. Well, you'd have to hide that part, of course. And that's not the trick that I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was to take a long piece of rope like this one, a short piece of rope like that one, and a medium piece of rope like this one, and make them exactly the same length, with all 3 ropes being exactly the same. And then I wanted to be able to run them through my hand and change them back to a short, a medium, and a long rope. Now, of course, I never learned The Secret, but I can still do that. See, I can take 3 different pieces of rope like these 3, and I can make them the same, just like that. You know, I did that pretty fast. I think I actually fooled myself. I can also take 3 pieces of rope that are exactly the same and make them different. But please, don't ask me how I do it. I never bothered to learn The Secret. Thank you so very much. You know, I wanted to take a moment to teach everybody here how to do a trick. It's actually pretty easy to do. All you're going to need is a lighter. So you have a lighter, you just put a lighter in your pocket, and then you get yourself a silk handkerchief like this one, a red silk handkerchief. That's all you're gonna need. Make sure your sleeves are rolled up and there's nothing else in your hands. And then you take that silk handkerchief and you tuck it into your hand. Poke, poke, poke. My favorite part is the pokey, poke, poke. Poke, 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 just like this. And then you grab the lighter. And when you take the flame of the lighter and you wave it below your hand, the handkerchief turns into an egg. Weird, right? All right, I think it's a great trick, but I am going to reveal the secret to you. I hope you're not too disappointed. Look, there's a hole in the egg. See that? And there's a handkerchief right there inside the hole in the egg. So what you really need is an egg with a hole in it. Now, I know that's a hard thing to find, but I'll tell you where you go. All you have to do is go to a farm that's near a church. That's where the chickens lay the holy eggs. It's a bad joke, but it's worth it to do this trick. Now look, when you poke the handkerchief in, you're actually sticking it inside the hole in the egg, just like this. Now don't show people that that's where it's going. It goes inside that hole in that egg. Keep that hidden in your hand while you get the lighter. You light the lighter and then show the egg with the handkerchief in it, but don't show the handkerchief side. Now sometimes when you do this trick, sometimes somebody may see that handkerchief poking out of the egg. Don't worry about that. Look, all you need is a wine glass and the lighter, and you can fix everything. Just light the handkerchief on fire like this. And that egg becomes a real egg. It's just that easy.
That was crazy, everyone. What?
All right, I was just joking. I was just joking about teaching you that trick. There isn't any way that you're going to be able to do that one, but I will teach you one that you can do. Let me clean my hands off first. And this one is pretty simple. All you need are some picnic napkins. You know, so just like I have here to clean my hands off, you just need some picnic napkins. And you can use anything. You could use, you know, Kleenex. You could even use toilet paper now that the shortage is over. But you just take any picnic napkin, just like this one. You are going to need something else, but I'm going to get to that in just a moment. So take that napkin and then tear it in half. I'll show it to you first, and then I'm going to teach it to you in a second, so don't worry about that. You tear the napkin into pieces, just like this. Tear it up as many pieces as you possibly can, and then push them all together like this, and you're going to put those pieces back together. And it's simple. All you need is some magic, and I have it in my pocket here. There it is. Magic tape. That's how you put pieces. What did you expect? But I do it a little bit different. You just tap it, just like that, with the tape, and then that napkin goes back together into one single piece. Pretty good trick, isn't it? Now you can actually learn this one. It's actually pretty simple. I'm going to teach it to you. So the first thing that you need, instead of one napkin, you actually need 2 napkins. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a piece of tape, you're going to put the tape in your pocket. Now here's the torn up napkin that's in my pocket next to the tape. You're going to take 2 napkins and you're going to wad one of them up. Make a ball like this. Now I would put that in my pocket next to the tape, but you know what? Let me just put it right here on the table so you can keep an eye on it. So hopefully you can see that okay. So that's going to be my pocket. And then I have the tape, and I'm going to put the tape next to that so that you'll know where it is the whole time. So the tape and the balled up napkin go in your pocket like that. So when you reach into your pocket, you're going to pick up the balled up napkin while you're showing the other one. And then you're going to show everybody that you have a full napkin like this one. And then you're going to tear it into pieces. Now they don't know that you have the extra one hidden in your hand. So you tear it into pieces just like this. And then you switch it. So you switch it for the other one. So remember, you're going to have 2 of them. One of them is torn and one of them is not torn. And you have to remember which one's which. See, this one's the torn one over here. The other one is not torn over there. So then when you reach into your pocket to pick up the tape, you leave the torn one right here behind. You tap the other one with the tape like this, and then you show that that napkin is back and restored and not torn in any way. Now, of course, that's not that amazing, but you can do that trick for anybody and they won't know how you did it. But the real secret is, if you're a real magician, it's those torn pieces. If anybody ever catches you, you just tap those with the tape and put those back together just like you did the other one. Of course, that's the advanced version. That's a little bit more difficult to do. You know, whenever I perform magic, people always ask me what was the very first magic trick that I ever saw. And actually, it was shown to me by my father. Now, my dad wasn't a magician, but he used to do a card trick around the house whenever I didn't want to do my chores. And so I saw this every day. It's pretty simple. It uses some giant cards and a giant envelope. The cards are kind of unusual though, because there's only a few of them and there's nothing else in the envelope. The envelope's not important, but I'm taking a little extra time showing it to you for some reason before I put it over here. The cards are what's important. You see, 3 of them are the same. 3, 7 of hearts. And one of them, oh, that's the King of Spades. The idea is kind of like hide and seek. You have to keep track of the King of Spades. You see, whenever I didn't want to do my chores, my dad would get out the cards. I remember in the fall, it used to be my job to rake the leaves, and I didn't feel like doing it. So my dad got out the cards, and he turned the King of Spades face down and then placed it across the room where I could keep an eye on it. And he said, Dan, because, well, I thought he was raking me in, and I wasn't going to leave it at that. He turned one of the sevens face down, and he said, guess where it is, the King of Spades? And I said, well, I'm kind of suspicious here. I think the King of Spades is still in your hand. But he showed me, no, that was just a 7. I said, give me one more chance. Well, he was a fair man, so he gave me another chance. And I said, well, the King of Spades has to be there on the table. You never went anywhere near it. He said, I'm sorry. Go get the rake. This is the King of Spades. And that is just a 7 of hearts. Well, you know, I had no idea how he did that, but I decided not to worry about it. And then in the winter, it was my job to shovel the snow. So my dad got out the cards. He turned the King of Spades face down. He showed me that he placed it across the room. He showed me the remaining cards, but you know, I was getting a little suspicious. So I said, I'm getting suspicious. So he showed me not only the faces of the cards, but also the backs of each and every one of the 7s. And then he turned one face down to try to confuse me. And he said, Dan, because well, that's my name. He said, if you can find the King of Spades, you won't have to shovel the snow. Well, I remember the last time I was left out in the cold. I really felt like a flake. I knew I was getting another snow job. You get the drift? So I said, I want to see that card that's face down in your hand. And he said, sure thing. It's just a 7 of hearts. He said, I'll give you one more chance. You see, he was a fair man. So I said, well, the king's got to be there. You never went anywhere near it. He said, I'm sorry. This is the King of Spades. That is just a 7. Well, I had no idea how he did that, but I decided not to worry about it. And then in the spring, it was my job to mow the lawn. I didn't want to do it. I was getting kind of nervous because I wasn't sure I could take any mower. I wrote the whole thing for that one line, so I'm leaving it in. But my father took that King of Spades and he turned it face down. And I said, hold it, Buster. I didn't typically speak to my father in that tone of voice, but I had a reason. You see, he was cheating. He didn't just turn one card face down, he turned 2 cards face down, and that's not fair at all. So he removed the cards that were showing the 2 7s and he placed them aside. He proceeded to mix the king and the other 7, and he told me if I could tell him which was the king, I wouldn't have to mow the lawn. And I said, Dad, it's easy. It's the left one. And he said, no, that is a 7 of hearts. And I said, aha, I've got you this time. I didn't mean the card in your left hand. I meant the card that would be left. He said, that's okay. That's a 7 of hearts as well. As a matter of fact, he never had a king at all. He just left it in the envelope for safekeeping. And I should have known better because my father never did play with a full deck. Now I'd like to perform for you one of my favorite effects. This is known as the world's saddest trick. It's the world's saddest trick. Using a tiny little red handkerchief. It's pretty sad already if you take a close look at that. You see, this old handkerchief has been with me longer than just about anything that I've ever owned. And today is its final performance. This is the world's saddest trick. After all I've been through, it's the only way I can cry. Behold, the tiny little wrinkled red silk hanky, so pathetic, so worthless, so existential. Do we not care about the little hanky? Do we not ask it where it's been, what it knows, where it's going? No. We use it. We smash it into our fist, never once giving it a second thought. It is with us for only a moment. And then it is gone. Visine, it gets the red out. Oh. Well, you know, part of my job as a magician is to solve life's great mysteries. And I'll tell you one of the mysteries that I've recently solved, and I think you're all probably familiar with this one. It's the mystery of the vanishing sock. If you've ever done laundry, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You wash your laundry, you take it out of the dryer, you try to match your socks up, and one of them is always gone. I've got a solution to that, and it's pretty simple. It starts right here with these two polka dot red socks and this safety pin. Of course, now that I've opened the safety pin, it's no longer a safety pin, it's now a dangerous pin. So you have to be careful with that. But here's the solution. You take any two socks, we're going to use these red polka dot socks here, you pin them together, and then you place them into the dryer. So these are clean socks, they go into the dryer. We're just going to use this little goblet right here to represent the dryer. Those two socks will stay right there. Now, this will be our washing machine. It's an ordinary paper bag, but check this out. That's a little something I learned how to do in my old job. So you take these two, and these are two striped dress socks, and of course, they're held together with a safety pin right here up at the top, and of course, we're going to open that up and let you see. Two striped socks pinned together, and they go together inside the washing machine. Now, I don't know if anybody out there has ever done their laundry before, but if you want to, you can follow along with this. All you have to do is make the sound of a washing machine, and that will convince the socks that they're actually being washed. And then the miracle will happen. So the first thing we do is we put the detergent in. Then we close the lid. Press the button, oink, and the water starts to come in. Then we agitate them. And then more water. And then the spin cycle. And at the end of that, when we take the socks out, look, nothing else inside. One of the socks is gone. Not just one sock, but also the pin is gone. You see, I figured out that the socks get so scared by the idea, by all of the noise and all the motion, that the one sock runs away. It takes that pin as a weapon, and it tries to find its friends. Remember the polka dot socks that I put over here? It always runs to find its friends. And that solves the mystery of the vanishing sock. Well, oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. In addition to being a magician, I'm also an artist. And from time to time, I order things off of the internet, and I ordered something. I just want to do this as a public service announcement. I want to warn you, if you're an artist, please don't get one of these things. This thing doesn't work. You might be asking yourself what this is. Actually, this is known as a color mixing guide. It's supposed to show you how to mix paints together to get different colors. But the problem is it only has two sides. It has red on one side and yellow on the other side. It doesn't show you how to mix them together at all. So it's really kind of worthless. I will tell you, it is kind of fun because you can fold it like this and turn it inside out. You turn it over without turning it over, which is sort of weird. If you do that just right, you can actually get a different color like blue. See, it has three sides. It has a red side, a yellow side, and a blue side. And if you want to, you could mix those colors together. If you mix red with yellow, well, then you get the color orange. But orange only comes from red mixed with yellow, of course. If you mix yellow with blue, well, then you'd get the color green, because green comes from yellow mixed with blue. If you mix blue with red, you get my favorite color, which is purple. Purple is a nice color, but it only comes from blue and red mixed together, and I only have red and yellow, so unfortunately, I can't show it to you. So whatever you do, don't buy one of these things. It doesn't work. Well, for those of you that don't know, I also am very thrilled that about 4 years ago now, I appeared on Penn & Teller. Penn & Teller Fool Us, which is on the CW network. It's a great show if you've ever seen it. And I was really happy to perform one of the tricks that I created and fortunate enough to fool Penn & Teller with it. And so I thought I'd show it to you, but I'm going to need some help with this. I actually need to have some people help me to create a card. And by that, I mean, I have a deck of cards here. And instead of having somebody here that just picks a card or names a card, I'm going to need everybody out there to help me decide on a card. But before we do that, let me just show you that this deck of cards is kind of unusual. You see there are drawings on the back of this deck. I don't know if you can see those. I'm going to get it as close as I possibly can. It's a little stick figure drawn on the back. And if I flip through it like this, he reaches up, he takes his hat off, he reaches inside the hat, and he's about to pull something out. Now, tell me, can you see that okay? Because if not, I can probably get some more light on this. Is it good?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So what I want is, I'm going to set this deck of cards over here because I don't want to show you what he pulls out of his hat yet, but I'm going to put it right there so that you know exactly where it is. What I'd like is to have somebody out there, and it could be anybody, just to decide whether they want the black cards or the red cards. So who's going to make a choice?
The black card.
Oh, black cards. Yeah, fantastic. All right. So we're going to use the black cards. Now I need somebody else, anybody, doesn't matter who it is, to decide whether they want the clubs or the spades. So who's going to choose, clubs or spades? Let's give somebody a choice.
The spades.
Spades. Yeah, fantastic. All right, thanks. So we're going to use the spades. Now we're going to have the last person decide what value they're going to use. Ace through king. It could be any value. We're going to use a spade, any value. Who wants to choose the value of the card? Anybody at all? Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King. Any value?
Lauren,
What is it?
I think Lauren wants to choose. Lauren?
What? Yeah. What would you like? Anything. Which value?
Ace.
Ace. You want
Ace.
Ace? The ace of spades.
Ace.
Okay, the ace of spades is an obvious.
Yeah. Ace.
Now, Lauren, I'm going to tell you, the ace of spades is an obvious card, but it's up to you. If you want to use it, we'll use it. If you want to change your mind to something that maybe nobody would think of, again, that's up to you. You sure you want the ace?
Yes.
Okay, the ace of spades. Now, the ace of spades is right there on the bottom of the deck because these cards are still in order. So don't be surprised by that. It just happens to be there. Cards have to be in order. But you don't want the two of spades or the ace of hearts or any of those cards. So we wouldn't want the ace of hearts, yeah? Or the two of spades. We want the ace of spades, yeah? All right, so check this out. Look, the cards have never left your sight. And yet, when I flip through them, the magician takes his hat off. He reaches inside his hat. And he pulls out what appears to be a rabbit. But it's not a rabbit. It's a folded card. And when he turns that card over, that card is the ace of spades.
What?
The one you wanted.
Wait, Lauren, I'm gonna unmute you. What? Hold on. Lauren, what do you think of that?
What the hell?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you another one just for you. Is it Lauren? Yeah, Lauren. All right. So Lauren, let me get another napkin here. I have a couple of extra ones, but I want to show you one that's kind of special to me. Using just this napkin,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tell you a little story.
Okay.
When I was really young, something magical happened to me. My parents let me stay up late. And of course, that wasn't the most magical thing that happened, but I remember the evening perfectly. My mother and I were sitting on the back porch of my family's house, and the full moon was just rising up over the horizon. My mom told me that the moon and the stars and all of the planets have magical properties. You know, I still believe that to this day. But using this napkin, I'm going to try to make a picture of the full moon. And to make it more interesting for you, I'll do it with one tear. A single tear to make a perfect circle. Now, I'm not going to finish that tear. Instead, I want you to see that those pieces are still connected right there.
Yeah.
Center. I'll finish tearing them off, and I'm going to leave those pieces right here so that you can see them the whole time, right in my pocket.
Yeah. I see.
Now, let's see how well I've done to see if I've made a picture of the full moon. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is not bad. With one tear, that's pretty good. And Lauren, do you see the man in the moon? That's me. Now, as I said, the moon was rising up over the horizon. And I turned to the right, and there was the first star of the night just kind of twinkling into view. And I asked my mom, if all the stars have magical properties, what about that first star? Well, she told me that the first star is the most magical of all. You make a wish on it, your wish comes true. And she taught me a poem, Starlight, Star Bright. You know it? Starlight, Star Bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I might have this. I wish tonight, and I wished that I could do magic. And my wish came true. But you remember those pieces there?
In your pocket?
That's right. That's the circle from the middle of the napkin. But you know, there's something that I should have wished for. I should have wished to be like that star, because then I could have all the wishes I wanted, and I could give people whatever they wish. And I've made this star for you, Lauren, because you
Oh, cool.
are the star of this show. And I hope you get whatever you wish for.
Oh, that was awesome.
Thank you very much for tuning into the show. Thank you, Laura, and everybody at AOTL. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And of course, when we have a chance, you know, please check us out at p3magictheater.com. I'm Dan Harlan. Thank you once again for tuning in.
Hey, you guys, I'm gonna unmute everyone really quick, and I want you guys just to give him a huge round of applause, okay? I'm unmuting everyone. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
A star, the artist.
What was the last number?
Good job.
My pleasure.
Well, oh wait, sorry, Dan. Oh wait, hold on. I've done mute you. Okay, you're unmuted.
No, thank you all so very much. I appreciate that. Would you like to see one more before I go?
Yes.
One more? Okay. All right. Because you know, now that I'm done with the show, I get to relax. So when I relax, I like to enjoy my favorite beverage, and it's right over here in this brown bag. Please don't worry. This is not an alcoholic beverage. My favorite beverage is Coca-Cola. Everybody see that okay? Yeah. I'm gonna leave that right over here in this brown paper bag so that you can keep an eye on it the whole time. But you know, I don't enjoy it just the way normal people do, because as you've probably figured out, I'm not a normal person. So I have another bag and an empty glass. And I kind of enjoy my beverage sort of the way that James Bond would take his martinis, you know, shaken, not stirred. Mine's a little different. I like my beverage passed, not poured. Keep an eye on the glass as it goes into that bag right over there. And all I have to do is move the Coca-Cola from one place to another, just like that. So while it once was here, we now have just an empty bottle. And where we had an empty glass, a toast to all of you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
That was so awesome. I'm seeing everyone's faces right now, and everyone has the biggest smiles, and everyone's applauding. This is so great. Wow.
I'm so happy to join you. Thank you so much, Bianca.
Thank you so much, Dan. Wow, wow. Okay, I'm going to unmute everyone. One more big round of applause, okay? Yay! All right, thanks again, Dan. And I'm going to kick it back to Aaron and PALS TV.
Cammy.
Magila.
All right.
Absolutely incredible, Mr. Harlan. Wow. I mean, that was one of the best ones yet, man. We can't thank you enough for doing this. Again, P3 Magic Theater. I have it up on my screen right now. I know where I'm going after all this gets back to normal. So thanks for that plug, and we'll continue to tell everyone about it. You obviously do amazing things there, and really put a lot of smiles on people's faces right now during a tough time. So thank you, sir, so much for all that you do, and then spending your short time of the day with us here today on PALS TV. So really appreciate it, Mr. Harlan. Great job. I agree with Bianca. Another round of applause. So thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, you're so very welcome, Aaron. I just wanted to say I look forward to seeing you and everybody else in person. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
You take care and you stay safe, sir.
You too. Bye now.
Okay. All right, everyone. Well, yep, we'll be taking another short break here on PALS TV. It was a great segment. I was smiling the whole time. Sure you were as well. So we're going to be coming back to you from Gallia County and talking about some self-defense and what you can do to keep yourself safe right now, and just understanding your surroundings and knowing what's going on. So again, thank you, Art Outside the Lines and P3 Magic Theater. Mr. Harlan, you were great. See you guys soon.